Welcome to Trivia Clips. Ready to dive into the raw power of Nirvana, the band that redefined the 90s. With grunge spirit, unforgettable riffs, and deep lyrics, they changed music forever. Let's test your Nirvana knowledge. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? First, Nirvana was formed in Seattle, Washington. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. False. Nirvana was actually formed in Aberdeen, Washington, though they were part of the Seattle grunge scene. Their sound and attitude helped define the city's identity. Seattle later became the face of grunge, but Nirvana's roots are a bit further southwest. 2. Kurt Cobain was the only original member. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. Cobain founded the band and remained its core. He worked with several drummers before Dave Grohl. Bassist Chris Novoselic joined early on. But Kurt was the band's heart, soul, and vision. Nirvana wouldn't exist without him. 3. Smells Like Teen Spirit was their first single ever. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, false. Their first single was Love Buzz, a shocking blue cover. It came out in 1988 on Sub Pop Records. Smells Like Teen Spirit came later in 1991. That song launched them into superstardom, but it wasn't their debut. 4. Dave Grohl joined Nirvana in 1990. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. Grohl joined just before Nevermind was recorded. His drumming gave the band a new punch. He had played in other bands before. His chemistry with Cobain was instant. It was the lineup that made history. 5. Nirvana only released 3 studio albums. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. Their discography includes Bleach, Nevermind, and In Utero. Each album showed a different side of the band. Despite their short time, their impact was massive. They also released live and compilation albums, but studio albums, just 3. 6. In Utero was produced by Rick Rubin. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, false. It was produced by Steve Albini, not Rick Rubin. Albini captured a raw, abrasive sound. The band wanted something less commercial than Nevermind. In Utero was darker and more emotional, and critics loved its honesty. 7. Kurt Cobain married Courtney Love in 1992. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. They married in Hawaii that year. Courtney was pregnant with their daughter, Frances. Their relationship was intense and often chaotic. Love was frontwoman of Hole. They became a tragic rock couple. 8. Nirvana's MTV Unplugged set featured only their own songs. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, false. They played several covers during the performance, songs by David Bowie, Lead Belly, and the Meat Puppets. Their version of Bowie's "The Man Who Sold the World" stood out. The stripped-down style showed a different side. It became a legendary performance. 9. Come As You Are was accused of plagiarism. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. People noticed it resembled 80s by Killing Joke. The bands nearly had legal issues, but they never went to court. Nirvana still released the song as a single. It remains one of their most iconic tracks. 10. Kurt Cobain's guitar from MTV Unplugged sold for over $6 million. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, true. His Martin D18E was auctioned in 2020. It broke the record for most expensive guitar ever sold. It symbolized his vulnerability and genius. Fans saw it as a sacred piece. The legacy lives on in every chord. Welcome back to Trivia Clips. If Part 1 got you pumped, Part 2 will take you deeper into the grunge legacy. Let's see how hardcore your Nirvana knowledge really is. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? 11. Nirvana's Nevermind album knocked Michael Jackson off #1. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. In 1992, Nevermind topped the Billboard 200. It replaced Jackson's Dangerous at the top. That moment symbolized a cultural shift. Grunge had overthrown pop royalty. It was the dawn of a new era. 12. The cover of Nevermind was banned in some countries. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. It showed a naked baby underwater. Some countries censored or altered the image. The baby was chasing a dollar bill. It became a symbol of innocence and greed, still controversial even today. 13th Krist Novoselic became a lawyer after Nirvana. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, false. He didn't become a lawyer, but he stayed active in politics and activism. He played in several bands after Nirvana. Krist also wrote about democracy and voting reform. His life took a thoughtful path. 14. Nirvana refused to lip sync on live TV. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, true. They famously trolled a TV show in the UK. Instead of faking "Smells Like Teen Spirit," Cobain sang weird lyrics. He mocked the system live on air. The band hated inauthentic performances. It became a moment of rebellion. 15. Cobain's journals were published after his death. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. His personal journals were released in 2002. They included lyrics, drawings, and private thoughts. Some fans loved the insight. Others felt it was an invasion of privacy. Either way, it revealed a complex mind. 16. Nirvana won a Grammy during Kurt's lifetime. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, false. They were nominated but didn't win while he was alive. Their Grammy win came after Cobain's death. It was for MTV Unplugged in New York. Posthumous recognition came too late, but the award honored their legacy. 17. Kurt Cobain was left-handed. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. He famously played left-handed guitars. He even modified right-handed ones. His style was raw and unconventional. Being left-handed added to his mystique. It made him stand out visually and musically. 18. Nirvana opened for Guns N' Roses on tour. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer. True. They toured together briefly in the early 90s. Tensions between the bands were high. Cobain and Axl Rose clashed publicly. Nirvana didn't enjoy the experience. The tour was chaotic, but memorable. 19. The band's original name was Skid Row. You have 5 seconds to answer. True or false? Correct answer, true. They used several names before settling on Nirvana. Skid Row was one of the early ones. Others included Ted, Ed, Fred, and Pencap Chew. They wanted something peaceful sounding. Eventually, Nirvana fit perfectly. The 20th Nirvana was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2014. You have 5 seconds to answer, true or false. Correct answer, true. They were inducted on their first year of eligibility. Dave Grohl and Chris accepted the honor. Women artists filled in for Kurt on stage. The tribute was powerful and emotional, a well-deserved place in rock history. End of part 2. Drop your score in the comments. Did you ace it or get surprised? Hit like, share with fellow Nirvana fans, and subscribe to Trivia Clips for more epic rock quizzes.